Hi, my name is Gabriel Lewis, and you tuned into my YouTube channel. I'm fat and I'm not ashamed. If this is your first time, do me a favor, click subscribe, share it with a friend, and click that like and turn on your notifications so you won't miss another Gabriel Lewis video. Today, I'm happy to bring with you a subject that's dear to my heart. It's called Try One More Time. I'll say that again. Try it one more time. There's a time in all of our lives when we come to the end of our rope. There's that time when we just feel like giving up, when life just gets so heavy. We feel like we've been let down, we've been kicked to the curb, we've been walked over, we've been overlooked. Have you ever been there? Well, you tuned into the right thing today. I've got another one of my favorite Bible stories. I keep telling you I was a preacher, and I still am. And some of the most enriching stories come to me from the Bible. Here's the scene of the text that I want to tell you about. It's about Jesus' disciples, and they had been fishing all night. As a matter of fact, the text says they fished all night and had caught nothing. You ever been there? You ever been trying in life to pursue your goals, your dreams, your purpose, your assignment for life, but the harder you try, it looks like the further that go away from it? Well, this is what they were. They were frustrated. This is what they did for a living. If they didn't bring home no fish, they had no money. So you can imagine how frustrated they were. They've been fishing all night. They were tired, man. They were sleepy, and they didn't have one fish. They didn't even have a minnow. They didn't have a guppy, man. That was a tough night. And it says that here they were washing their nets. They were done. It was over. But all of a sudden, here comes Jesus on the scene. And I want to read you this passage from what I call the Message Bible. And this is what it says. Jesus said to them, "Throw the net on the other side of the boat and see what happens." He said, just do it. Just come on. In other words, what he was saying, try one more time. I know you're tired. I know you feel it. I know you want to go home. I know you're hungry. I know you're sleepy. I know you're sweating. I know you smell like the sea. You smell like seaweed. But Jesus said, just try one more time. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to do what you've been doing all night. Here is the difference. Just throw the net on the other side and let's see what's going to happen. And the text says they did. And when they did what he said to do, it says, and there were so many fish in it that the net broke, and the men in the other boat helped them to get the fish in the boat. Now that's deep. I like that, and this is an encouraging story. Not only did they catch fish, y'all, but it was so many fish that their partners that was in the other boat had to come over and help them because they had a net breaking blessing. Look again. So what am I saying? I don't know what you've been trying and been feeling at. I don't know how you've been coming up empty. But here's what I want to tell you. Try one more time. Got 3 things for you and I'm through. Why should you try one more time? Well, number one, an empty net doesn't mean an empty sea. Did you catch what I said? Just because you fished and nothing was in your net don't mean that there was not any fish in the sea. It was proven when they threw it on the other side. The net broke. Could it be, my brother? Could it be, my sister, that all you have to do is adjust your net and you'll catch something? But number 2, try it one more time, because the answer to your dilemma oftentimes comes from unlikely sources. What are you saying? What are you saying, Gabe? Well, these men were experienced fishermen. That's what they did. That's all they did. And here comes the Messiah. Here comes Jesus trying to give them direction. And really what they were saying, I hear you, man. We know you're the one that could perform miracles and all. We heard all about that. You changing water into wine. But wait a minute. You ain't no fisherman, man. We know this thing. We fish the sea all of the time. And you're not experiencing that. But yet, Jesus had the answer. What are you saying? I don't know if you've experienced it or not, but I found that many times in life when I came to the end of my rope, when I came to the bottom of my barrel, when I was flat, broke, busted, and disgusted, God has a way of oftentimes sending you the answer in an unlikely source. What are you trying to say, Gabe? It was only about 3 months ago, y'all. I mean, literally, I was dying. I mean, I was on my way out of here. And I had already told my wife, I brought my kids and told them that I don't know how many days I got. My speech was faint. I hardly had enough strength to speak. And here I was at the end of my rope. I done fished all night, y'all. And all of a sudden, here I am surfing on Facebook. And I see this unfamiliar face. And I've seen that face, and I just pass right on by on the page. I see this face, and he's smiling all the time. I've discovered since then, his name is Malcolm J. Harris. He's a motivator. He's a speaker. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's so unique about M.J. Harris. M.J. Harris is not ashamed of who he is. He will tell you. Matter of fact, you can listen to MJ in 2 minutes and he's going to tell you who he is. He'll tell you about his hurts. He'll tell you about his ups. He'll tell you about his downs. He'll tell you about his spending habits in the past, how he was broke, how he was struggling, how he was busted, couldn't be trusted. But right now, MJ has one of the largest African American financial groups it is, National Care. He's the largest. He was sitting there one day, and I was sitting there, broke, car broke, face broke. You know, you can't hardly say broke without looking broke. I mean, when you say broke, your face just say broke. And here I was at the point of barely breathing, and he comes on loud, boastful, obnoxious. He was MJ. And this was his line he was saying, or what it was saying. Get in here, get in here, get in here. And I said, oh my Lord, where's all this energy coming from? Long story short, I'm now a part of his mentor groups, his mentorship group. Let me tell you something. I've been around. I've been in the ministry 41 years. I've been around as some of the most electrifying preachers it is. I've been around some of the best speakers and pastors in my life. Sometimes God has a sense of humor. Who would have thought that a gay man would speak into my life and bring me back? I remember when we had the conversation. I'll never forget it. I will never forget M.J. Harris as long as I live. And I remember when I was asking him some questions about business and entrepreneurship. And this is what MJ said, real simple. I wasn't expecting this. He says, Gabriel, you have a powerful voice. You got to get in front of a camera and you've got to speak. When you spoke to me a couple weeks ago, my spirit was on fire. And I mean, you know, you made my day that day. And so what you got to do, he said, I know you wanted them growlers. You sound like you wanted them powerful people. What you got to do, you got to get yourself in front of a camera and you got to pour your heart out and let God use you with the gift he gave you. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Out of all of the people that I know, as I'm laying there dying, not one phone call, not one prayer, not one, how you doing, man? Just want you to know I'm praying for you. It took an M.J. Harris and another brother by the name of Calvin Hill to pick me up and to rise and get up from where I was. Why should you do it one more time? Why should you throw your net one more time? Because I don't know who you are. And I don't know what situation that you're facing. But there's an M.J. Harris that God has for you in your life. That's why you should do it one more time. Because God has your resources. He has the answer to your dilemma in an unlikely source. But then number three, the third and the last reason. Why should you do it one more time? Because number three, it just might be the time that you break your neck. Have you ever thought about that? Just one more time might be the difference between blessing and cursing. It might be the difference between wealth and poverty. I'll share a quick story with you. I remember when I was pastoring, and I had young men in my church, and one of them was my son. One was named John Burks, and the other was named Jared Collins. And so I had challenged the men in my church at one time to take a young man who may not have a father at home and mentor him, give him some skills. And so what I did since I was pastoring, I've used them to help clean the church. And so I started a business, gave them a name, the 3 J's. And so every Saturday we'd come over and I would teach them the skill. I've been in janitorial all my life. My dad owned a janitorial company. And so I would show them the ins and outs of vacuuming and buffing and cleaning and dusting and getting the church tip-top shape. But here was one dilemma that I had. I had a nephew. And his name is Aaron Dunlap. I had a nephew. So every Saturday, you know, we come and they'd be breaking down, getting the vacuums and everything. And all of a sudden, here comes Aaron, my nephew. And he's just a vacuuming and working and sweeping. I say, Aaron. He said, yes, Uncle Gabe. I say, man. I said, right now it's just them 3, man. I said, you on down the road, man. I'll find something for you. But right now I'm taking care of them. And man, his face, he would be heartbroken. And he'd drop his head and he'd leave. He said, okay, Uncle Gabe. Next week, guess what? The 3 J's show up. And here's Aaron. Again, breaking down, getting up, getting the vacuum, getting the broom, man, and sweeping and sweeping. And I'm looking at him and say, Aaron. And he said, yes, Uncle Gabe. I say, hey, man, I said, I know you want to work, man. I said, but right now, I'm training them 3, man. I said, you know, I'll have something for you up the road. He dropped his head again. Okay, Uncle Gabe. And Aaron kept doing that for almost 2 months. No matter how many times I told Aaron, I don't have room for you now, man. I love you. I ain't got nothing against you, man, but right now I'm training them. I'll get something to get another man to have something for your road. And he dropped that head again. And finally, he showed up again the next week. And finally, I looked at him and I said, the 3 J's, John, Junior, and Jared. And you know what I did? I said, okay, man. I said, I'm going to call y'all the 3 J's plus 1. What did Aaron do? Even though I wasn't hiring another one, even though I told him I didn't need no help, what did Aaron do? He kept throwing his net to see if he could come up with some fish. Guess what? Maybe you're just like my nephew. Maybe the world keeps telling you no. Maybe opportunity keeps saying, I don't need you no more. I'm here to tell you, do me a favor. Just try it one more time. It might be your net-breaking experience. Remember, my name is Gabriel Lewis, and I'm fat, and I'm not ashamed. See you next week. Don't forget, hit subscribe, touch like, ring that bell. If you got any comments, put them below, and I'll see you on next week. Bye-bye.